Spooky World is my favorite place on earth, or it was my favorite place on earth. The girls and I used to go every year, and it was always an amazing trip.
Well, I really liked Spooky World a lot. It was enjoyable, it was very interesting, and I would definitely go back again.
Spooky World was a great place. My family and I went there a number of times, met many stars, had a great time.
So Spooky World was kind of like out in the middle of nowhere, and it was an old farm. It was the old creepy farmhouse, and it was so neat because as you were driving down the road, it was this long dark road, and as you got closer you would see the lights, and then you would see the smoke and the mist rising, and it was just so cool because Spooky World was always one of those places that was just shrouded in mystique, so it was kind of cool.
Well, getting into the park, I think the attractions was one of the best things there. But I really enjoyed standing in line waiting for the haunted hayride, and then all of a sudden Bobby Boris Pickett appears on stage, and he did the Monster Mash, and that made it even more better waiting in line.
We went to Spooky World by seeing their billboard signs. On our first visit, we saw a sign on a trailer that said Linda Blair was appearing. We thought it was a fake sign to scare people, but then a car drove by us in the road next to us, and Linda Blair was driving by us. That night, we went in the trailer and had our picture taken with Gunnar Hansen and Linda Blair.
Spooky World always had some amazing guests. Now, when I was a little girl, there was a man named Tiny Tim. He was a little man, and he used to play the ukulele, and he used to sing, kind of like, I'll see if I can do it without laughing, but he had this really high voice, and it was like, tiptoe through the tulips with me, and he would play the ukulele, and I just loved him. I remember when I was little, he was on the Ed Sullivan Show. Now, I know that's dating myself, but so I always loved Tiny Tim, and I was always fascinated by him. But Spooky World, they did the coolest things with their guests. Tiny Tim actually got married at Spooky World. I missed the wedding, but I did a couple years later. He came back, and I got to meet him. So that was a big deal for me, because I always found him fascinating. He was the sweetest little man. He was so kind and so nice. And then I actually got to meet Elvira while I was there. She was pretty cool. And so there were a lot of interesting guests that would come and go through Spooky World that you would get to meet and interact with them. So that was kind of interesting as well. I really enjoyed that.
This is the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. Citizens are advised to take the following steps. Stay alert to news media events or local emergency alert notifications. Avoid contact with the infected. If evacuation is impossible, move indoors and initiate in-place sheltering. Use a gas mask, or if none are available, cover your mouth and nose with a clean cloth that has been soaked with a solution of 1 cup water and 1 tablespoon of baking soda. Also, cover bare skin and make sure that cuts and abrasions are covered.
I myself have so many fond memories of Spooky World. The park was such a big part of my childhood, especially around the fall time in October. I remember standing in line for a couple of hours just to meet Elvira and Kane Hodder, who of course played Jason in a couple of the Friday the 13th movies. I've also met Linda Blair, the Scream Queens, and Gunnar Hansen, who famously played Leatherface in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I still own and cherish these autographs to this day, and always will.
So in addition to the crazy guests that they had, Spooky World also had an awesome horror museum. Now this guy, the owner, had a wonderful collection. He had Herman Munster's jacket, he had Freddy Krueger's glove, and these were all from the real movies. Jason's mask, all kinds of really cool things. So you could walk through the horror museum and view everything. It's fascinating. They also had some interesting people that would go and do different things. There was a man that had bats. He raised bats. He wore a little bat on his hat. And you could look through the glass and you could watch the bats flying around. They were so cute. And then there was a guy that did crazy, creepy carvings out of wood. So there were so many different things that so many different attractions, and it just had this really like a mystique to it. I can't even really explain it. The feeling of it just felt really good, like really cool. And you never knew what you were going to see or who you were going to encounter. The sets and the props were absolutely amazing. They were very professional. When you would go through the houses, that you felt like you were in a movie, like you would feel like you were in a real haunted house. So it was pretty cool. And all in all, it was just it was an amazing spot to go to.
We hope you enjoyed these memories and a look back at the original Spooky World. If you have any stories of the park, let us know in the comments below.